So last time on the Zero to Gold Cap Challenge, I spent what seemed like decades trying to get past Blizzard's authentication system for creating a new account. Character creation was giving me some interesting options. I was getting called a scammer before I'd even had the chance to scam anybody. We revisited some of Blizzard's best ever storytelling. And we did tons of herbalism and mining to try and get some gold together so we can actually do some sort of gold making when we do hit level 80. Now, originally I called this sort of the Zero to Gold Cap Challenge. I mean, it's still called the Zero to Gold Cap Challenge, but I'm approaching this in a way whereas I'm not just aiming for 10 million gold. So this is the sort of probably strategy I would do if I was probably aiming for more like 100 million gold rather than 10 million gold, because this strategy is sort of a little bit longer, but we do want to hit that 10 million gold in a reasonable amount of time. So in this episode, you are going to see me hit level 80, obviously, and you're going to start seeing me putting things together for sort of the longer term. So now I know I could just, there are certain professions in the war within that have, reasonable margins, and I could just use all the artisan security I've got banked up and just hammer one of those professions when I know I can get sort of not an amazing, but I can get a profit, and I could just hammer that all day and get 10 million gold, and that'd be challenge over. That is boring as fuck. And so basically, I'm going to be trying to do lots of different little things, seeing how everything works out. It's not just a race to gold cap. It's a race to try out a lot of different stuff as well. And at the same time, try out the stuff that I would use, like if I was trying to go beyond that 10 million gold if I was starting again. So that's basically what you're going to start seeing come together sort of in this episode today. So first things first, the most important thing probably, we do hit level 80 in this episode. I carried on mining, herbing, all the way to level 80. Just like I said, to get some gold together in order to be able to do something when I did hit level 80. Now, for a long time, I sat on all the artisan security that I had managed to gather. And so I did finally decide to spend it all. And what I eventually decided to go with, I decided to spend it all on herbalism and mining in the end anyway. So I used it to buy all the knowledge books, basically. And from that, it's going to increase my gold per hour that I get from herbalism and mining. Now, like I said, I could go into other professions, get tiny profit margins and stuff like that. But I thought I may as well have something where I can make gold from it all the time if I want to. And it just keeps sort of my income coming in. So if I do want to invest elsewhere, then I know I can always make gold back with this. It's probably not the best choice. Like I said, I could have done better with a crafting profession, but decided to go with this. It's very reliable gold, and sort of everybody could do with a mining herbalism character. Now, the most important thing that I did want to do in this episode was start going cross-realm. So that means obviously selling stuff on multiple servers. So I did spread out to 10 other servers. So I had 10 auction house characters on other servers that I created. So on 10 of the biggest US servers, basically. Now, because I was going to have issues if I used the warband bank, and sort of everything would quite easily get intermingled with my other account. So I just created a guild and used the guild bank to transfer everything across the servers instead. That way, there's sort of no chance of my stuff getting mixed up with my regular accounts. So basically, all the stuff I do in cross-server here is done via the guild bank instead of using the warband bank. And that way, like I said, nothing can get mixed up. So basically, I had all these characters set up on different servers. What I needed now was actual stuff to sell. Now, one of the things that a lot of people have been talking about in the gold making community Discord, which you should join, links in the description below, is about making the Dark Moon decks and flipping them on. So you can buy the cards from the auction house, craft the Dark Moon deck yourself, and then sell it on, and you will generally make a profit from this. And so that's what I did. I just grabbed cards to make a load of decks, crafted them all together, and I just sold them on all 10 of the servers. And I made you're not going to make ridiculous amounts of gold from this, but it was just something to get started, just to start making a little bit of gold and to have something to sell on all these different servers. So that was basically the very first thing I put together, like I said, making my own Dark Moon decks, selling them across the servers, and like I said, making a little bit of profit. Nothing amazing, but it got us started selling cross-realm. So I decided to do some cross-realm flipping as well. Now, obviously, I do not have a lot of gold for doing this at the moment. So wanted something that was sort of cheap, had a decent return, but also a very high sales rate, so I can clear it out fast, get the gold back, do something else with it in the future. So what I decided to go with is I looked at some crafted bits. Now, I would never, ever normally touch anything that is crafted because somebody else can just craft another one and it's pointless you doing it. But if you are moving these across servers and you can see that there's a price difference and you're going on to say like another high population server and you can see there's a profit margin there, then if it's going to sell fast enough, then sure, it's worth doing. The amount of gold you get from this might not be amazing, but like I said with the Dark Moon decks earlier, just wanted something that was low upfront cost and that could get a decent return from. So some of the things I decided to flip was sort of the crafted dual crafting neck and the crafted dual crafting rings, because you could get these on some servers sort of like a few hundred gold and you could sell them off for, you know, maybe 6, 7, 8, 1,000 gold on other servers. Doesn't sound amazing, but it is a decent percent return. So once again, it's not something that's going to be huge and huge amounts of pure gold, but the percent return is quite decent. It's just whether it's worth that amount of effort. But hopefully, as time goes on, we can invest in stuff that's a bit more expensive and a bit more slower selling, and hopefully with that higher sort of pure gold value. The percentage return won't be as high, but the actual pure amount of gold profit that you're making from it will hopefully be higher as well. So that is something that we'll probably look at doing in future episodes as we build up. Like I said, not normally crafted gear, I wouldn't touch it at all. But because it's sort of so fast selling, because an item level upgrade, so people are just buying it for alts and stuff like that, it sells ridiculously fast. So I cleared out that stock quite quickly. And like I said, made decent percentage return, not huge amounts as far as profit's concerned, but decent percentage return on what I invested in that. So something else I decided to flip a little bit off was some of the War Within Profession sort of recipes and stuff like that. So I picked some up from enchanting, engineering, tailoring, just picked up a few to sort of give it a go and see how they would go. Obviously, I managed to pick these up cheap, moving to high population servers, and I did manage to sell quite a few of these, and it wasn't too bad. Now, this was a risk, and I'm probably going to take a loss on some of these because in the last patch, they did make it so recipes are generally going to be more common. And I know some of you will have noticed that certain of the more expensive recipes have really come down in price because of this. So this is why it was a bit of a risk. You shouldn't really invest too heavily in something where you know the supply is going to go up because you know the price will come down. But you know if you're buying the cheapest sort of on the region and you know you can sell it for a decent profit on a high population server, hopefully quite quickly, then hopefully you can sort of make a profit on that before that price comes down too much. And that's what I found. Like some of these I might make a little bit of a loss on, but I have had sort of a fairly decent profit on these so far. Now, luckily, I've managed to set up this TSM, so it's separate from all my other TSMs, so it makes it really, really easy to track progress and stuff like this. So as you can see on my resale ledger here, we've actually made about 66k profit so far, which is, like I said, it's not absolutely amazing, but it's a start, and hopefully we can build on this in future episodes, push towards that 10 million, and maybe we'll even take it to 100 million if the series is going really well at that point. So the next thing I need is, quite often I'm doing a lot of different things. I'm editing videos, I'm making videos, I'm doing things on my other crafters and things like that. So what I want ideally for this series Gold Cap Challenge is something that the character can be doing AFK, that is making gold without me needing to put too much effort into it. Like I said, my professions are already taken up, so I can't use my professions. So what I decided to do is I do set up the character on the big red ray gun AFK farm. So this is basically the mob that spawns sort of every 6 to 7 minutes, kill it, chance to get the big red ray gun toy. Now this is a terrible, terrible gold per hour. But what it is, like I said, it's something I can do completely or almost completely AFK and make a bit of gold from it. So I could farm like 10, 20 of these toys and I can sell them across all the different servers. So I don't have to worry about sort of over farming or anything like that, because it's my intention to be selling things across a lot of different servers. So that's another thing I've set up. I've set that up, running this a lot of the time when I'm not doing anything else with the challenge. And that's just going to make us a little bit more gold, give us something else to sell on all the servers. And it's just a bonus more than anything else, so that we can keep that trickle of gold coming in. So whenever I'm actively playing at the moment, I could be sort of farming, herbalism and mining if I want to. If I'm AFKing it, then I can AFK and make gold like this. So I now have two reliable ways. I've got sort of a trickle of gold coming in. And then obviously I am looking to do some flipping and some investing and stuff as we go into the future. But we'll have to see how all that goes. So overall at the moment, we are at a massive 152,000 gold. So obviously we're still miles away from what our target is. But we still have things that we've invested in to sell. So there should be some more gold coming in from that. And like I said, we're going to hopefully scale things up more and more to make more and more gold over time. And like I said, I'm trying to stay away from just doing a wall of impression and then just grinding it out, because obviously it's just too easy. Like I could pick up disenchanting and just disenchant my way to 10 mil. It would just be really boring series, and it'd be sort of like a really boring for me as well. But we do things a bit different, see how it goes, and see where we go from the future. So something else I've done this week is I have leveled up a load of characters to level 15. And if you want to find out what that is all about, then you'll have to see next time. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.